Welcome, family, to another edition of Stranger Thinking Media. This is Yeshayahu, where we bring you the gospel of Yahushua HaMashiach, Jesus the Christ, to address the problems of a modern world. So stay tuned. We have an awesome show for you today. Kick back, dig while we do it to you in 3D. So groovy that I dig me. Here to put a glide in your stride and a dip in your hip and come on to the mothership. Swing down, sweet chariot, and stop and let me ride. Chariots of fire. Today's agenda, we're going to piggyback on last week's or this past video, problem reaction solution. This is problem reaction solution 2. Ohio, another train derails. Revelation 8, and the third part of the creatures which were in the sea and had life died, and a third part of the ships were destroyed. And the third angel sounded, and there fell a great star from heaven, burning as it were a lamp, and it fell upon the third part of the rivers, and upon the fountains of the waters. And the name of the star is called Wormwood. And the third part of the waters became wormwood, and many men died of the waters, because they were made bitter.
Cars of a Norfolk Southern cargo train derailed Saturday afternoon near Springfield, Ohio. This video captured the moment the train began to derail.
I looked up and there was all kinds of debris and metal shoot out from under the train cars. And when it did, for some reason, I just started recording.
4 of the derailed cars were tankers carrying residual amounts of non-hazardous materials. There were no passengers on the 212 car train.
There was no release of any chemical or any hazardous material to the soil, to the air, to the water. We were, of course, tracking that closely.
Earlier this week, a bipartisan group of 6 senators introducing new rail safety legislation requiring rail companies to notify state emergency response officials if they're transporting hazardous materials, increase inspections, raise fines for breaking rules, and mandate a 2-person crew.
It shouldn't take a disaster to have good oversight legislation to make sure that we have a safe rail system.
The fines for safety have averaged about $10,000 over the last few years to Norfolk Southern and CSX and the other big railroads. That's just pennies on the dollar cost of doing business.
This marks the second derailment of one of Norfolk Southern trains in Ohio in just over a month. On February 3rd, a freight train carrying hazardous materials derailed in East Palestine in northeastern Ohio. Residents there confronting the company at a town hall last week.
I'm begging you, by the grace of God, please get our people out of here.
The CEO of Norfolk Southern is set to testify this week before Congress on Thursday. He's likely to face questions about whether the railroad has been investing enough in safety. Jacqueline Lee, ABC News, New York.
So a second Norfolk Southern train is derailed in Ohio, just 1 month after a toxic chemical spill erupted in the state, where a hazardous material train operated by the same firm flew off the tracks on February 3rd. There were no toxic chemicals on the train that derailed Saturday, so they say, Norfolk Southern and local officials said. But surrounding residents were ordered to shelter in place for 10 hours while authorities investigated the crash in Springfield, about 80 miles northeast of Cincinnati. By Sunday afternoon, most of the wrecked 28 train cars had been removed, authorities said. We're looking at clean air, clean soil, and clean water, said Clark County Health Commissioner Charles Patterson in a Sunday press conference. There have been multiple sweeps by multiple teams. The crash renewed concerns about rail and environmental safety. Norfolk Southern train derailed on February 3rd, forcing the evacuation of hundreds of East Palestine, about 220 miles east of Springfield. The first derailment spewed toxic fumes across the small town and created an environmental mess as residents reported dead animals, livestock, and sickened children and adults. Several lawsuits have been filed against the train's operator. So what I think I see happening here, is the way things normally get done in this world system. A problem is created, then there's a reaction, and then magically someone comes up with a solution, probably a prepackaged solution that was already planned before the actual problem. So, just be alert, problem, reaction, solution. My guess is, if I had to take a look at this, is it could go a number of ways. I know they want to push that Build Back Better program. Our rail infrastructure is in need of repair. It's actually, literally, if you think about it, it's Abraham Lincoln's rail system. It's the same basic track system that was started in the 1800s. And when you look at China, and they have those high-speed rails, over 1,900 miles of it, we haven't done any of that. And so we're too reliant on fuel. But I don't know. If you see something different, another thought I had, by the way, was the as far as getting goods and supplies to our stores, places where people shop. Maybe this is something on that order where this will start happening. A lot of goods and services are transported by rail, so maybe we'll see some more shortages. Maybe that's the end goal here. I don't know, but I do know that there is an issue. So I'm going to keep my eyes open, see if this goes any further, and see if it spreads to anything like airlines. Now that would be something, wouldn't it? Everybody pay attention then. So let's see what happens, and we'll keep our eyes on it. Mark chapter 13. And except the Lord had shortened those days, no flesh should be saved. But for the elect's sake, whom he hath chosen, he hath shortened the days. So farewell, family. Thanks for listening in. And this was a brief video. I just wanted to make everyone aware that there was a second train derailment. But shout out to all of you. And shout out to all the subscribers. You guys are great. And we'll see you on the next video. Shalom.